I saw a need in the Bay Area for an organization to get people engaged and involved in giving back. And Tipping Point was built to fill that need.
An area as rich as the Bay Area should not have such endemic cycle of poverty.
When Daniel came to talk to me about Tipping Point, I got it. Right away, I realized that I had another passion.
People ask me all the time why I'm involved with Tipping Point. I'm so grateful for what I have, the health care, the food on our table, the house that we live in, basic things. Other people don't have those basic necessities, and they should.
We're an outcomes-based organization. That's what we do differently.
It would be nice to assume that all organizations are using money effectively. Tipping Point makes sure that's the case. Over the last 3 years, Tipping Point has vetted over 300 organizations, and they've picked the 20 best.
Tipping Point has 4 portfolio areas: education and youth development, housing and homelessness, child and family wellness, and employment and asset development. All the areas that we focus on are critical to ending poverty in the Bay Area.
We provide a range of critical services to homeless and very low-income families. Our programs look more at long-term solutions and helping families to achieve self-sufficiency. We have a lot of dads in our program right now who are working on parenting and trying to be more active, sort of breaking the stereotype of the absent dad.
My son was born in 1999, and I thought that I would stop using drugs and become a better person because, I would be a father. I thought that that would make me change, but it didn't. Finally, I hit bottom in 2005. I went into recovery here in San Francisco. I went to rehab for 21 months, and I was clean. I had been clean for 21 months when I got out, but I was not ready to live on my own. I was so eager to go out and start my life, but I didn't really even know how to live. It's a really rough adjustment period, and without this program, I don't know what I'd done. This program has helped me to be a real father to my son. It's provided me with an apartment. I have a job now. It's turned my life around. I started working last week, and it's the first paycheck I've gotten since 1995. I got to call up my GA worker and tell her that I didn't need it anymore. I'm so tired of being on welfare. I'm so tired of it. It's just, it feels good. It feels like I'm part of the human race again. I feel whole again for the first time in my life.
We try to give our grantees the tools, the support, the management help for them to focus on what they're really good at doing. And what they're really good at doing is fighting poverty.
We're definitely one of the organizations in the Bay Area that is taking a fundamentally new approach. Our vision is that everyone has the opportunity to pursue their career aspirations. Before Tipping Point, we were struggling. We needed to build up some infrastructure. It's a lot easier to get funders to fund programs than it is to get funders to fund infrastructure, but you can't deliver good programs without good infrastructure.
Working with Tipping Point is like having a whole team that's kind of at your fingertips.
We're one of the few organizations, one of the few people I can turn to give us the bad news. And why are they going to give us bad news? Because we can fix it.
For society to get better, we've got to figure out a way to give people the hope to put in the effort. It's got to start with one generation saying, I'm going to make it happen for me, and then I'm going to make sure it happens for the next generation and the next generation.
I found myself homeless on the streets of San Francisco, and I got arrested for shoplifting, and I went to jail, and that's when I found out I was pregnant. The day I got caught shoplifting was definitely the turning point in my life. What went through my mind was, this is it. I either have to change now or my children will be taken away from me. In order to rebuild your life, you need a place to start. And Clare House was my foundation. They gave me a home and a supportive environment that I couldn't find anywhere else. They taught me how to love myself again. And my kids, when they hug me and they say, Mom, you're doing a great job, there's nothing that can beat that feeling. I'm proud of myself. I've come a long way. 4.5 years ago, my life was just a mess. I didn't have any self-respect, and now I do. I can hold my head up high and say, I'm doing something with my life. In a couple of years, I'll have my bachelor's degree. I'm living proof that it's never too late to change.
At Tipping Point, we believe that poverty is preventable, not inevitable.
Last year at this time, I was a donor. This year, I'm a board member because I really believe in everything I've seen so far about what can we do to change the face of poverty in the Bay Area.
A lot of us, when we're around poverty, it makes us nervous. Tipping Point, they roll up their sleeves.
The mission of First Place for Youth is to support foster care youth in a successful transition to adulthood. We want to give them the opportunity to take advantage of their own destiny. When you help one young person, all of the lives that one young person will touch will exponentially change our community and therefore change our world.
I entered the foster care system when I was 15. I was really angry and bitter because from when I was 10 until I was 13, I was being molested. I just felt like I didn't have anyone protecting me, anybody in my corner. Only things I heard about foster youth coming out of care were negative. After I had Nyla, my daughter, I had her when I was 16. I decided that I didn't want her to wind up in the system and I didn't want to wind up homeless. And so I just started searching for ways that we could make it. I attended a program for foster youth. It offered support at a time when I needed it most. That helped me to grow, just knowing that someone has a vision for me opposite of what the statistics say. I didn't have any income at the time to actually be able to afford market rate rent, but I had someone to advocate for me to a landlord and say, hey, this kid, she's young, but she's responsible. When I have a supportive environment, I feel that I'm more driven and it just makes me reach for the stars. The program helped me to move into my own apartment about 2 days before I started as a freshman at Cal State. I am going to be the first person in my family to graduate college. I feel really excited and encouraged, like I'm able to build a legacy for, my daughter. These programs are so important and they need to continue because they're doing something life-changing.
Our board underwrites all of our expenses.
Every single dollar that you donate goes to the people who need it most.
I believe as a board member, in order for me to ask somebody else to donate to Tipping Point, the board has to be supportive and lead by example.
The days of writing a check and walking away and hoping that your dollars were used wisely are gone. Tipping Point is here to ensure that all of our dollars are being used effectively and efficiently.
We've invested in a very robust data system so that we can not only prove what it is that we do, but we can improve what it is that we do.
It's amazing what happens when people are held accountable.
I feel that helping people is my responsibility.
So many of us have benefited from living in the Bay Area, and I think we all have an obligation to get back to it.
Any donor that's been in the game with us, thank you. For you donors who haven't played with us, what are you waiting for?
Without the help of Tipping Point, and they couldn't do it without your support, none of this would be possible.
We're looking for you to step up, get involved, and help us in the fight against poverty, and others will follow.